Hi, my name is Glory. I'm a third year student studying at the Bartlett School of Architecture in London, originally from Hong Kong.
And I'm Shan. I'm a third year architecture student studying at the Bartlett as well, and I'm originally from Malaysia.
You're listening to Designing Thoughts with the Archigals, a podcast where we talk about working and creativity, living well, the human condition with relationships, and life experiences.
Before we get into the podcast, I would just like to ask for a small favor. It would mean a lot to us if you could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or leave a comment on our YouTube channel just to let us know how you feel about the podcast and other topics you'd be interested in hearing in.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our podcast. I'm your host Gloria and this is my co-host Shan. So today we're going to be, we're first do a weekly check-in as always, and then we'll move through the topic of people-pleasing / FOMO. So hopefully that'll be interesting to you. So Shan, how's your week been? This week was reading week. How's your reading week been?
It's been really good. I went on holiday.
Oh yeah, you went to
Yeah,
Spain.
and then I came back. And then I had my tutorials. But that wasn't so fun. The time between the holiday and the tutorials was not very fun. But it was okay. I think I made some progress. And also sometimes it's good to get away and to relax. Okay, I relax quite often, but then it's good to get away completely and then be inspired by wow, these buildings in this new place look so cool. And
Okay,
stuff.
I feel like you're kind of downplaying it a little bit because for context, Yanshan went to Spain from Sunday to Wednesday. And I feel like you had a really good time there. I saw your stories. I felt like you had a really good time there, obviously. And I feel like you downplayed it a little bit because you were like, I'm not really looking forward to tutorials. I feel like I didn't do a lot of work. But I looked at your portfolio and I feel like you did quite a lot of work for someone that went on holiday for 4 days, So
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
To be fair, I really did do it on the day of the tutorial.
Okay, well, I guess you have skills for completing stuff last minute then.
Oh yeah, but actually that's not very fair. So I did do some stuff on holiday, and also I worked pretty hard right before I left. So
Yeah, exactly.
it wasn't
So
for nothing.
I feel
it
like you're
wasn't. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like you're the definition of work hard, play hard, and I admire you for that. But how did tutorials go? So for context, reading week I think tutorials are kind of optional, but that depends on the unit. So some units don't do tutorials at all,
Right.
and
Yeah.
some tutors make it optional. I don't
Yeah.
think they can make it compulsory, so it's definitely
Yeah.
optional. So how are your
But
tutorials?
even if it was optional, it was pretty compulsory for us. As in, they said it's highly encouraged, and they were also pretty. As in, they really did expect us to treat it like a normal week. So they did expect us to have things to present, I think.
So the fact that they treated it as a normal week and you still went on holiday,
I didn't know when I booked the holiday that they were treating it as a
okay.
normal week.
Well, that's skills. You still managed. Yeah.
Okay,
So
how
it's
was your week?
my week, reading week started off slow, as in I felt like the crit from the week before reading week really tired me out. So the beginning of reading week, I was super tired. I didn't want to do anything, but I still forced myself to go into studio and get work done. Honestly, I don't know how you can go on holiday. I really admire you for that because I feel like if I go on holiday, I'll get so anxious. I don't know if this is toxic. I feel like I will just be so anxious if I go on
I
holiday.
think we're on the opposite ends of the toxic spectrum. Because I think it's toxic that I choose to do this. I just booked another holiday. And that's not
Oh
even in December. Oh my days.
We create a good contrast,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was just in studio I guess 10 to 6 to 7. I was just working basically
yeah.
basically every day I'm going to studio, treating it as a normal week, I guess. But it for me, I felt like the progress was really slow because I was I didn't know why I was so tired. I had no energy in the beginning of the week, but towards the end I think I had more energy because I talked to my friends in my unit, and then we just have good chats and a good time in studio. And then the tutorials yesterday actually went really well, even though it was only 15 minutes. I feel like it was a good push in the right
Right.
direction,
Right.
and I kind of know what I have to do for next week. So it's just crazy to think that we're already more than halfway through term 1. We only
Yeah.
have 3 more tutorials left before this project ends, and I'm
But to be
like,
fair, right? During the tutorials, Fali was like, yeah, but to be fair, they've only been here for 4 weeks, and we've actually only been here a month of normal, teaching weeks.
yeah, but I don't know. It just feels like it's
So on both sides, it's crazy. It's like it's gonna end soon, but at the same time, we also kind of just started.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Chris, my friend in Unit 3, the other day, and we were like, oh my god, when year 3 ends, we're gonna cry because
Dude, I will cry.
I will cry because I don't know, like year 3's been amazing so far. Like compared to year 1 and year 2, like year 3 has
Compared to year 2, oh my days.
I know year 3 has just been like the
Incomparable.
best. Oh, I don't want it to end, but like it's already flying so quickly. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's our week. Oh, and yesterday, I forgot to mention this. And yesterday, we went to the people who were at tutorials for reading week because it's optional, not everyone came. And then our tutors, Dan and Iffy, they were like, we can go to the pub and like have a chat. So that was really nice. We literally stayed there from 4:30 to 10. I left at 10, and like they were still there.
Did you go dancing in the end? Because you said you were thinking of it.
No, I didn't. I was so tired.
Right.
I was so tired, and I was like, I have to record the podcast with you this morning. So
Okay, I'm sorry, this stopped you from going out.
no
My days.
priorities, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I was already really tired. Like reading week, my entire week has just been tired. But yeah, pub was really fun. We had a really good chat with Dan and like other people in the unit. And yeah, it was just a really nice chat, and had some Bartlett inside jokes and like gossip, I guess. So it was really funny. But yeah, it was just a good time. Yeah, so my week has been like started off slow, and then it got gradually better towards the end. You know. Yeah.
Because I wasn't around. No, I'm joking.
What?
Was because I wasn't around to start the week. But
Yeah,
that was a joke.
exactly.
Anyway, that was irrelevant.
Okay.
Cool update.
Yeah, cool update. All right, so we can move on to the bulk section of this episode, which is like FOMO. So I feel like I didn't know what FOMO was until like secondary school, and I feel like
Yeah.
I wanted to make it like an episode on it because I feel like you experience it a lot, and I experience it sometimes, like not as much as you, I guess. Yeah, so I guess we can start with what is FOMO. For any people who don't know what FOMO means, Shan, you can do the honors of explaining.
So it means when you have like an anxiety. So this is the official definition. When you have an anxiety that an exciting or interesting event may be happening somewhere else, often aroused by social media. And apparently it's like listed in the Oxford Dictionary like in 2013, which actually coincides with our secondary school. Like we started secondary school in 2013,
Yeah, yeah.
and then that's when it was added. So I guess like it really became a thing in my life. But to me, it's more like that feeling you get. It's like being a bit uneasy when like you can see your friends, or not even friends, like acquaintances having fun, and you think that they're having more fun than you, or that they are achieving more than you. So I guess we'll talk about this later, but to me, FOMO is also about like them being better at life stuff, not just having fun. So like also like work and having good friends, but also having a good like job lined up, or like good family ties, and also doing well in school. Like all of it is tied to FOMO to me. But that's my own view.
Okay. I guess obviously like you explained it, but I guess the surface level would be more like going out, having fun type of thing. I didn't know it was an actual word in Oxford Dictionary. Like it's just FOMO in Oxford Dictionary. Oh, and I guess is it an acronym, like a short term
Yeah.
for fear of missing out? So
Yeah,
that's
we did-
what
yeah.
that's what FOMO stands for. So yeah, I think you summarized it pretty well. Usually it's just kind of feeling like you're like not adequate enough, and you feel like other people are just doing more stuff than you and like having more fun. Usually for me, I feel like the easiest way of spotting like getting FOMO is like usually through Instagram stories, when you see people posting stuff like, okay, I'm using you as an example, but that's not FOMO for me, okay? Like for example, like during reading week when you went to Spain, like maybe some people will see that and be like, oh, Yan Shan's having so much fun, like why am I not having as much fun as her during reading week? You know, I guess that would be like an example of someone feeling FOMO. Like,
Right.
yeah. So I guess that's the kind of the main context. So yeah, I guess this word is quite recent, since it's 2013, which aligns with, like you said, our secondary school experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so why do you think we get FOMO though? Like
Oh,
what?
wait, actually, before that, I think there's something like, do you think that it's similar to like being jealous of someone?
Oh, I don't
Be-
think so because I
right.
feel like jealousy is more like personal, like it's targeted to one person, but FOMO is more like yourself. Like it's like a feeling within yourself that cuz FOMO can like happen at any time with anyone, right? Like it doesn't have to stem from like that specific person. But I feel like jealousy, or maybe this is just, maybe I'm just reading it wrong, but like I feel like jealousy would be more like this particular person's doing a lot more and you're like, "Oh, I'm so jealous of them and like their life." What do you
Right.
think?
Yeah, I think it's like FOMO is also more like it's more like a cloud. It's like a it's just like it's always there, but you can't really get rid of it. And it gets worse when you check social media. But even if you're not checking social media actively, you also kind of know that like if you checked it, people will be doing stuff, and then you would feel FOMO.
Yeah, I
I don't
guess
know.
it's
That's
kind of
what I
like the
feel.
yeah, I guess it's kind of like the feeling of like if you're lying in bed or if you're not doing stuff, you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I
Like
know
yeah, and
other
you're right. I think
people."
it's not directed at someone
Yeah,
because jealousy is like you're jealous of a particular person. Usually, I don't know.
usually. Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like the feeling of when you're, say, like having a normal evening. It could be a weekday evening or maybe like a weekend evening or like say Friday night. You're like lying in your bed and
Mm-hmm.
you're like, I know people are
Mm-hmm.
having fun and I'm just here in my bed.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the type of feeling. Like it doesn't have to be social media, but it's like mostly like
Yeah.
created through social media, Instagram stories, that kind of thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So moving on to like why we get FOMO. I guess it stems from being unhappy in life in general and also insecure about what you have. Which
But
I think
like,
is why we get it's very extreme when you're in secondary school. I feel like actually in secondary school it was worse than now.
yeah. No, because I feel like in secondary school, you're going through adolescence and like hitting puberty and like
Right.
you're being a teenager. So that's the stage of life where you're very much like, I want to fit in. I want to, I want to be like I don't know, fit in with the group of people around you because that's the time when you're starting to find like, you're trying to find who you are, like your identity, and you really want to fit in with people, which is why you have like rebellious stages at home, right? So I think that's when it's the most prominent, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is linked to being not happy. So when I had major FOMO, it was more when I was already not very happy. So like when like during lockdown, for example, in Malaysia, where people in the UK would be obviously like be able to go out and stuff. So I think feeling like I had or it also got bad when I knew that I wasn't on track with work at the same time. So I guess that's a reason why I was unhappy in the first place, and then it just compounded with FOMO.
Right. Because I was gonna say, like, why do you think we were, like, unhappy in the first place? I mean, obviously, this is, like, a statement just to say that I feel like we're both obviously, like, privileged enough to, like, study in the UK. But I guess no matter, like, where you stand, you'll definitely, like, feel unhappy at some point in your life. And that kind of, I guess it will, you'll always, like, you'll never be fully satisfied, right? So then you'll always be susceptible to, like, having FOMO anyways at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so, but I I I think there's also ways to get over it, or even if there's or just when you're generally happier, then I would feel it less.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I mean, even in like you say, like it was, I guess FOMO was at its peak for people during secondary school. I don't know if you have any examples. I mean, mostly it would just be say like on the weekend and then you see maybe like mutual friends hanging out.
And they like
Actually,
don't invite you.
yeah, yeah. But
That's quite FOMO, dude. And also even like after school, if people hang out after school and
yeah, and
like
it's like the group of friends you know, right?
yeah, it's like you know them, you know.
Yeah. You're like, you could have invited me.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not like that anymore. Like, I really couldn't care less now. But I think back then it was just like a very teenager thing to do.
And
Actually,
don't you feel like back then also like so much of Instagram was like showing off that you were hanging out with people rather than
yes.
that you were doing something that was worthwhile?
Yes, I agree.
That's actually so stupid.
Actually, back in secondary school, I didn't even have Instagram. I actually started Instagram in like sixth form, I think. So back then for me, it was actually more Snapchat. Like I would go
Oh,
through people's
right.
Snapchat stories, and yes, all of Snapchat was like people hanging out. That's like what you post on stories, right? Like
Also like when people would talk about it in school.
Yeah, people just know stuff. I don't know if this is like healthy, you know? But yeah, I feel like even for me, when I was like hanging out with friends, I feel compulsed to like post it on
Yeah.
Snapchat because it's like, look, I'm having fun. I'm
Yeah.
hanging out with these people.
Yeah, but
But
so it's actually quite toxic to think about it.
yeah, but like why do we do that? Why do we want to seem like I don't know. Like obviously on one hand it's about sharing that oh I'm having fun, right? But there's always that subconscious that's like you want to show to people that you're not a loser, not a loner and you actually have friends and you can hang out, right? Like there's that side of you.
Yeah, yeah.
Why you're posting that, you know?
I feel like for me that's like so pervasive. Like it was like that until post-secondary school even, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I think both of us now like I sometimes I feel like I'm a ghost on Instagram because I don't post anything. I feel like Instagram's more like a tool for me to like follow like creators that I like and like to connect with friends. But I really don't post outings at all. Maybe sometimes, but like I really don't post it. It's just for the sake of like, oh, I want to like tag people I know just to show the appreciation I have for them like hanging out, you know. I don't know. How do you think of like your Instagram story usage now?
I think I am healthy with it now. Okay, I say that. I was talking to my friend about this. Like, I think because I sometimes I use it to show off still, but I feel like I use it to show off to a very particular group of people or like a particular person. Sometimes even a particular person. Like I want one person to see it. Therefore, I put it on my story, which is so stupid actually. Now that I think about it, but then at the time it just feels like oh like I just really want them to know that I'm doing this particular thing, even though like they probably don't even care, which is so dumb. But then I feel like it's healthier now in the sense that like if I use stories and if I use like close friend stories or Snapchat stories, it's like because I want my actual close friends to see it and because I feel like they do like to be kept up with my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I mean, like even the letting certain group of people or a person to see, I think it's pretty normal. Like, I mean, obviously you're not the only one, right? Like, I'm not at the stage where I have that, but I think at some point in my life I'll probably have that, and I think people our age probably go through that anyway. So I think it's a pretty normal thing, you know. I mean, we can't be 100% like completely healthy with our relationship with social media, anyways. So you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, that in secondary school, I felt like there was this thing that was really dumb. Also, I would get like messages FOMO, as in I would be happier when I got messages and like engagement on social media rather than like if I came home from school and then like the whole day just nothing. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess like getting attention, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it goes both ways. I always have this talk with my friends where if you get messages, no, if you don't get any messages, then you'll be like, oh no, no one's texting me. But then when you get lots of messages, you're like, leave me alone,
Yeah,
everyone.
legit. I do feel that too.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to talk about like social media. I think you also talked to me about this. It's like highlight reel. You probably
Yeah.
have more to say
Yeah.
about that.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward, I guess. I mean, obviously it's like a highlight reel, like social media in general, like the accounts that you have in general is like a highlight reel of people's life. It's not
Yeah.
actually how they are living. So it's not an accurate reflection of the life that they're living, and therefore you shouldn't really hold on to it as something that you want to emulate. I think even for ourselves, like obviously what we post is also not all of our life.
Yeah, exactly. I just feel, I mean, like you said, it's a highlight reel, and we're comparing the highlight reel to our real life since people don't really post real life on Instagram, right? I feel like Instagram is more of a platform where it's really the highlighted parts of your life, like the posts you post and the stories you post, whereas obviously that's not the full picture, right? I think that's also why on like my vlogs on YouTube I try to make it more real, I guess, because not everything in my life is, you know, a highlight, right? Like you tell people, yeah, I go to architecture school, I go to Bartlett, like we do all these cool stuff, but you don't really tell people the hard work and effort that goes behind it. Say every day I have this routine where I go to studio at 9:30 to maybe say 6:30, and that would be like my everyday. you know. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, that's not really interesting as vlog content because every day is like literally the same. But that's, I don't know, that's real life, you know, like it's not a highlight. That's just how you, that's how you live your life, you know. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I think it's good also that it's like tending towards going being more natural and realistic on Instagram. Like for example, when people post things now, like you don't just post a photo where you look the best, you also post like funny things at the end. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's a trend. I I'm quite bad at trends though, but I think it's a trend that like you don't just post pictures where you look good, because that's a bit like mainstream. So
Yeah,
now you have to be a bit quirks, and then you post a bit like scenery, a bit of like what you did, food, that kind of stuff.
is there like an Instagram rule now? I mean, Instagram kind of evolved, right? Like I feel like at the very beginning it was about like, I don't know, like good looking girls and like pretty girls. Then now it kind of evolved into a stage where people can be authentic and like share stuff. Obviously for like content
Creators.
creator platforms, not like everyday. I guess not like people like you and me where we don't have time to post those things, but it's just nice to see that like people talking more about how like it's just not real life and you're comparing your everyday life to their highlight. So yeah, I appreciate like how Instagram's evolving right now, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's like it's how you make it to be out, how you make it out to be. So for example, when you have like a creative social media account, that's just what it's for. And like I think that a main part is just not being afraid to post stuff also, because whatever you do post, it's not like I don't think any of it would be embarrassing.
Yeah, I feel like there's this thing. I feel like we're moving into like Instagram
This is
rules
yeah, this is not
territory.
but anyway,
But it's still kind of related because it's still related to like how, because the thing is, right, like we experience it, like the kind of pressure you get on Instagram, and other people will feel FOMO as a result of what, like our actions, right?
Yeah.
But it goes the other way around. Like people experience the pressure of like putting stuff on Instagram too, but then as a result we also get FOMO from like what they do. So I guess it all links together. But yeah, I remember you telling me how like you felt scared to post stuff on Instagram. Not scared, it's more like anxious, like anxiety to like post. And I had that too, where I think back in the beginning when I was like uploading my first story saying that like, oh, I have a YouTube channel, that was the scariest thing ever. Like to click post on my story to say that I posted a YouTube video. And I was questioning myself like, why is this so scary? Like I think it's just about getting judged. So I guess for Instagram, not only are you afraid of getting judged by like other people looking at it, you also get FOMO from it.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's just
And also to some extent, it's like you want people to get FOMO based on what you do,
I guess so.
which is a bit toxic. Like if you think about it, sometimes I really do think that I want some people to know that they are missing out because I'm having so much fun. But then that's just so
Toxic.
toxic. But I don't think I think that
I think
explicitly.
no, I don't think you actively think that, because if you do think that, then I think you're kind of like a asshole, I guess. But I think it's all kind of like subconscious in our head. Like we're just vocalizing it now. I think everyone kind of goes through those things anyways. So yeah, I think it's normal. Yeah, and I guess
So how has it evolved for you since secondary
Since-
school?
you mean FOMO?
Mhm.
Yeah, I was gonna ask like how is it for you now in uni? So I feel like I was never really like a, what do you call it? Like a something chaser, like chasing.
Clout chaser.
Oh, is
People
that what it's
chaser.
called? Clout chaser. Okay.
But yeah, I think so. I think that's what
Okay,
it's called.
clout chaser, or maybe like popularity chaser. I don't know, but I don't think I was really like that. For me, I think FOMO is more about like friends I know, like people I know, and I don't maybe I didn't get to like hang out with them. It was less about the people that I like, acquaintances. Like I didn't really care about that because I was like, I have my life, they have their life. So I feel like I was kind of already kind of neutral about it. But obviously I feel like secondary school was more, actually no, in year 8 I think I had major FOMO because I was going into a new environment. Like I just got into secondary school and I wasn't
Right.
really in with the culture of how international schools worked. So I always felt like an outsider, and people were like, I don't know, they like all get each other and I didn't. So I think I had major FOMO back then, but then as like the years progressed, I think I felt more comfortable, and then I stopped caring as much. But it was still with like friends I knew. That was like that's the main FOMO point. But coming into uni, I think I just didn't care as much. Maybe towards the beginning, you know, like freshers week when everyone was like clubbing and stuff, and I told you the story. I was like, maybe I should do that because everyone's doing it. And then I felt like if I didn't do it, I would be kind of like a loser, you know?
But you didn't even enjoy it.
I didn't enjoy it. That's why I was like, I should just not go, because
Yeah.
the thing is, clubbing is fine. It's just you need to go with the right people. And the thing is, I went with a bunch of strangers that I barely knew, that I only met for
But that's
like
what everyone was doing, though. That was normal at the time.
Okay, fine. Well, I didn't enjoy it. I'm just putting it out there. I didn't enjoy it. It was a terrible night.
I think it's good that like you learn from your bad experiences, though, as in like because you know that you don't like it, then you wouldn't repeat it. Whereas I think for me, it's sometimes I'm not sure that I won't like it, even though history has shown that I don't like it. But I guess we'll get onto this later. But it's like it's good to learn from, and also to remember when you do something, whether you like it or not, because that will inform your FOMO in the future.
Yes, that would be a good point to like bring back like later on when we talk about like tackling FOMO. But yeah, I think after that time, or like I guess maybe another time that it was like really bad, I was like, yeah, I don't like this. Like that, therefore, I feel like I wouldn't get FOMO if people are like going out with like, you know, other people. And plus I didn't know them. It's like acquaintances. Like why would I care, you know? So I just stopped getting FOMO by that. And then like, and I feel like I'm quite content with like how I'm living right now. Like I have my own schedule. Like I enjoy living like a scheduled life. Like
Right.
I have a plan. I enjoy that. I actively like how I'm setting out my life right now. Like I enjoy living in the schedule. So yeah, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I feel like people are missing out on living the scheduled life.
That's so good.
Yeah, I mean, just kidding. But I do really enjoy how I'm living my life right now, how I'm planning it. So yeah, I don't really get FOMO, but I guess the most FOMO, like it's the same thing, I guess, towards the end of secondary school. It's just when people I know that are my friends or like kind of acquaintances hang out, that's when I would be like, oh, FOMO. Because remember the other time when our friend had this birthday thing and I couldn't go because I was sick? I was so like upset that I couldn't go because we just got back to London and I was like, oh, all these friends who are going to show up at her birthday party are going to be people we know and haven't seen for a year and a half, and I really want to see them in real life again. But the stupid sickness that I had was like, oh, no, actually not sickness. It was like vaccination, like post-vaccination symptoms. It was like I could not handle socializing for that night. I was just so dead. So I think that was the most FOMO I had since year 3. And yeah, how about you? How's uni life differed from secondary school FOMO?
I think the FOMO has gotten better just because I've like, gotten better at managing. I think in first year it was kind of bad in the sense that I would just say yes to everything, because I think in first year you're like so desperate to make friends.
Yes.
And then people are quite good at socializing in the sense that like you ask each other to do stuff because you want to make friends. So then it's quite normal to ask people to just invite like whoever is there. So then I would try to say yes to everything. But then it really got too much for me, I think.
Yeah.
And it also interfered with like my work. And also sometimes I just like would be so tired and the diary would be so full that I would be like stressed out about it and not looking forward to the day, which I think is really not what life's about, you know?
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, I didn't really mention first year like that much, apart from the freshers week thing. But I think obviously first year FOMO was like definitely bigger. I think FOMO was just a big thing when you enter a new environment, say like first year of secondary school or first year of uni. Like you said, you're desperate to make friends, and obviously people make uni seem like you need to have lots of fun, right? So when you see other people having fun and you're not having fun, and you have people's expectations on the back of your head saying that you should be having fun during freshers week and first year, then you feel ultimate FOMO for like not having fun, you know? So yeah, I think first year is the same for me. I joined like 3 societies in first term, and that was kind of insane for me to do so much events. But I mean, I'm kind of glad I did it because I know what it's like now, and I can just look back at it from like a third year perspective. But yeah, I think it's also about like having friends and feeling like you should be having fun and just saying yes to things that you normally wouldn't say yes to. I feel like it's good and bad at the same time, because if you don't normally go to these type of events, but because of FOMO you end up going, like something interesting might happen, but also
Or you
but
might make new friends, like sometimes they do result in like proper
yes,
friends.
I was gonna say that. I mean, the whole reason of why Nicole and I, my flatmate and I, are friends is because of this event that we normally wouldn't go to, but I guess kind of because of FOMO we went, and then we became good friends. So surprising stuff might happen as a result of having FOMO, but like this shouldn't be applied to every scenario. Like you really shouldn't
Don't
say
say yes to everything.
don't be a yes man. Don't say yes to everything. Yeah. So that, I think that was my first year FOMO, but obviously it got better after first year. Well, second year nothing actually happened. So, but
But I
compared,
still got FOMO in second year
really,
of
how?
like not being here, I think.
Oh yeah,
And then I was
you
seeing my
said.
friends doing stuff here.
Yeah, you said.
Then I was like, oh, if I was there, I would be doing that too. But I
Okay,
was doing my own
yeah.
thing.
Okay, yeah, I get that. Even when you were in London and I wasn't in London, I was like, oh, Yanshan's like having so much fun.
But also like
but then
I
you
feel like
tell
we
me.
make each other have FOMO as well because but then like, luckily we tell each other that we're actually very sad or
Yeah,
that
no.
like
Yeah.
and also like being wherever you were, like whatever you went through, it was kind of valid. Like for example, because I was in Malaysia for so long, I became very close to my Malaysian friends by necessity, and that was also really really nice. So it's always nice. Or like I got to hang out with my family, and like right before I left, and then I also got to like apply to jobs because I had so much free time. So then it was just like so. It's just pros and cons, Like FOMO just makes you feel bad about something which you shouldn't even feel bad about.
Yeah, building on the point of like we give each other FOMO, but I think it's nice because we're friends, right? We can talk about it and we'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm so jealous, like you're having so much fun. I remember when you were in the UK during second year, and I would tell you that, oh, I'm so jealous, Yanshan, like you're having so much fun and meeting up with friends. And then you would tell me, no, Gloria, it's actually not fun. Like Monday to Friday, I'm stuck at home and I only see people on the weekends, and that's like 2 hours of my week. You're like, the rest of my week is very sad. Apart from the one image I post on Instagram showing that I'm having dinner with friends, other times I'm just sad. And I was like, okay, I guess that's your real life.
Yeah. Okay, make it sound so bad. To be fair, I wasn't sad. I think like what you said, like when you establish a routine and stuff, sometimes some days I was actually very happy to like do my own thing, chill the whole day.
Yeah.
Not chill, do work the whole day, but like in a structured way. So it's
Yeah.
good to try different things.
Yeah. How about your third year then, looking back?
I think the year I still do feel it, which is quite bad because I'm so busy. This is not a flex, but I think that I do like to fill out my calendar, but then I still feel FOMO in a sense that like I feel like I am not being out there enough because there's still people to see and people that I haven't met. I was thinking about this that day. I guess it's not related to FOMO, but I really do like meeting new people and like getting to know them,
Yeah.
and instead of sticking to the same bunch, which is quite not good if you think about it, like in the long
Why?
run. Because if you stick to the same bunch, then there's like a different type of relationship that grows from it, which is also quite nice. But I don't know. It's good to have a balance.
No, yeah, I mean, as long as you have a balance, right? Like, you're not just making friends, and then once you pass the stage of, like, oh, it's a new person, and then you move on, then
Yeah.
that's probably, like, not, I don't know, not good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm also so grateful this year, in third year, because everything is kind of back to normal, except for a few, like, Zoom lectures. But it's just so nice to be able to talk to, like, new people and, get to know new people and, like, making new friends, I'm just so grateful for that compared to second year. So yeah, I guess like I think because everything is kind of like more or less back to normal, so obviously everything is back up and running. So obviously you will feel like FOMO if you see other people like doing interesting stuff, So yeah, it's completely valid, I feel like.
Okay.
I mean, you won't fully erase FOMO, but there are some ways we could like tackle it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's move on. So yeah, so I guess the main way to tackle it, I think for me the main way to tackle it actually is to just be more grateful for what I have and then to reflect on what I have as well. So like kind of like what you do, like when like doing the gratitude journal thing, although that sounds a bit cringy, but it is really good. Like,
Yeah.
not that specifically, but I think just remembering when you're happy that you're happy and who you're happy with and like why you're this happy. Like for example, that day, I remember thinking it was like a Wednesday, so that's the day right before my tutorial. So all I did the whole day was work and go to the gym, and I was just so happy at the end of the day. I was like ecstatic. It was such a good day, and I didn't like see anyone new or like see anyone basically, and it was such a good day. And just it's just good to remember that like sometimes I'm just so happy just
By
not
yourself.
yeah by myself and doing stuff that's
Yeah.
productive.
Yeah, you are all you need to be happy, because I feel like people think other people can have like influence your emotions a lot, which is true, but I feel like ultimately it's down to you to, like be in control of your emotions, because
Yeah.
if you don't let other people's stuff or like their Instagram stories like get to you, then you're good, right? Like ultimately if it doesn't affect you, it doesn't. So I'm so happy that you said like that day spent by yourself was like amazing. And I relate to that, like say usually one day of the weekend would be my rest day from the design project, and that day I would just be by myself, doing grocery shopping, laundry, edit videos, edit the podcast, and that would be amazing day for me, like just being by myself doing like productive stuff and like things I like. That's great. Like I don't really need to, obviously I do need social interaction, but like for that day
For
I
that
didn't-
day,
yeah,
yeah.
that day I didn't need any of those, and I can still be perfectly content. And obviously that's something to be grateful for, right? No matter how cringy a gratitude journal sounds. But I really like my gratitude journal because I look back on it and then I see all the good stuff that happened, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, so yeah. Well, it's not cringy to me, at least.
Yeah, but I think it's because it's easy to like hinge your happiness on someone else. I think it's easy to expect someone else to make you happy, or like to fill up your diary because you think that would make you happier. Like sometimes I do get scared when like my diary is very empty, which is like quite bad. Because I don't know what I'm scared about. I'm just scared of like facing so much time that I could be spent doing other things.
Yeah, I guess so. FOMO alert.
That is really FOMO.
Yeah.
I think
But-
something else which you're good at is like reflecting on things. So like you like to like make scrapbooks and take photos, and obviously you
Yeah.
do a vlog thingy.
I'm just very
So I think it's good that you like to do that.
Yeah, I think I'm just very sentimental. Although obviously this brings in another like aspect of it. It's like when you kind of cling on to the past. But I don't know, I'm very sentimental, and sometimes I feel like that's a good pick me up when I feel very sad. I can look back at the past and I remind myself that, I have all these good things in life. I have all these amazing people next to me, and I'm in this environment that I'm very grateful for. So I shouldn't be upset that like I'm not doing as much. Although this,
Yeah.
I feel like FOMO is not really like a big problem in my life, but like if it comes up, then I'll be like, I'm having fun by myself, and I could have fun if I wanted to, but like I'm choosing to just be by myself, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something else which helped me was, well, meditation didn't really help me. Maybe it helps you.
Oh, I remember you were saying like a few episodes back that you were gonna meditate, and I gave you recommendations of doing
Yeah,
it for
but I
like 2
didn't.
minutes.
I didn't do it. But I think that I meditate through exercise. Like,
Like you're present during exercise.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really makes me very present. So that's just how I'm gonna do it because it's also productive at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of made meditation a habit now. Like it's a to-do list now. Like I have to do it. I'm just
good.
forcing myself to do it. I'm trying to I think I'm on the progress of making it into a habit. It's kind of a habit now where I do it as soon as I get into studio, and before I take anything out of my bag, I would sit down and meditate for 5 minutes.
That's kind of cool.
And like, yeah, I really like that because it sets the tone for the day.
Yeah.
And like before I start doing any work, I'm like checking in with myself, like, how does my body feel? Like, how are you feeling, Glory? Like, are you feeling okay? Are your shoulders tight? Are like how's your head feeling? How's your body like temperature feeling? How's your breath feeling? Like checking in with yourself, and then that kind of sets the tone for the day. And I just feel like it's been a really good exercise so far. And I'm kind of surprised because I feel like I can do 5 minutes quite well now, so I might increase
It passes pretty fast.
Well, not fast, but like I feel like it's a good amount. So I'm thinking of like increasing the duration slowly.
That's
But,
good.
Yeah, I'm having a good time meditating.
That's so basic.
So
Like it's like so like you're so like Pinterest girls. But
I'm so
anyway,
Pinterest girls, excuse me.
I think it's good. It's so good. Okay,
I mean,
yeah, continue.
I was gonna say it's not for like other people to look at me and be like, Glory's doing this meditation thing. I think it's more like being in tune with your body, because I really feel like during that 5 minutes I'm in communication with my body. This sounds so cringy when I say it out loud, but it sounds so cringy. But I swear to God,
true.
but it's true. When I'm doing it, I'm like, I'm having a good conversation with my body, and
Right.
I like how it feels. So I don't care if it's cringy. It's great. Everyone should do it.
I agree.
Yeah. So I hope you do it, but I know it's hard for you.
Actually, I think I'm exaggerating. I mean, it shouldn't be hard for anyone. It's literally 5 minutes.
No, people make it sound so like I think it sound the thing sounds easy, but when you
Yeah.
actually sit down and do nothing, it's not really doing nothing, but when you're feeling your breath, in tune with your body for 5 minutes, it feels like an eternity. You know, like in the beginning, for like any normal person, they'll be like, "Oh my God, is it over yet?" But like it's just been 1 minute. They're like, "Oh my God, I have to do this for like 5 minutes," and I guess that's crazy. So that's why I say start slow. Do 1 minute. Do 2 minutes. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, the exercise thing is good because you release endorphins.
Yeah.
You get
I think you have a good routine set up because you also do that before studio. So like, you
yeah, I like get all my maximum
daily-
endorphins.
so
like,
you're
right
as happy as possible before studio starts.
I'm not ecstatic after
Yeah.
like right before studio. I think it's like a good calmness. Like I just set the right tone for the day of like how productive I want to be, and that's gonna be my day. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And the other thing that we talked about just now is like, what is it? Recognizing stuff that you don't like.
Yeah.
Um,
Just like doing like an audit about how you feel when you do something.
Yeah, I think it goes back to being present, right? Because say you go out, like I'm just using myself as an example of like going clubbing during Freshers Week. The time I was just, this is not fun. I don't like this. I'm not having a good time now. And I just kind of admitting it to yourself and not lying to yourself that, oh, but this is what everyone's doing. Like I should be enjoying this. You know, like I feel like just being honest with yourself and recognizing that this is something you don't like, which is fine. Even if society makes you feel like you should be having fun, it's okay if you're not. Because I think I probably read or listened this to a podcast somewhere where people were just saying, yeah, I don't have a lot of fun when I go clubbing or something. So it's like, it's fine. It's not like pressurizing for you to have fun just because people are posting it on their stories and making it seem like they're having fun. you
Yeah.
know?
I think also sometimes because I get FOMO about groups of people or like specific people who don't ask me out. So for example, in secondary school, it would be like this group of girls in school. But then when I do hang out with them, it's also not fun. Like I'm not having a lot of fun. So then I don't know why I feel FOMO about this. I think it's also like recognizing who you feel happy with.
Yeah, I agree. And
I think that also leads on to like holding on to the good people in your life, like sometimes when I call my mom, it just reminds me of that I'm having such a really good life here, and like my problems are so small, and also like there's so many bigger things in life to look forward to,
yeah,
and like
I
family
agree.
and that kind of thing. Or even
Yeah.
if I do things like like if I go to, because I do a part-time job, like if I work, then I'm also a reminder of like that doing things and being productive is also fun. It's not just about like literally having fun all the time.
Yeah, and I guess when I watch like documentaries or talking to other people, you realize that your problems are really not as big as you make them out to be. Like FOMO is really just an insignificant part of your life. Like you didn't even go. How is that a problem? You know? But yeah, obviously we magnify it in our heads, and then it becomes a real problem in us. But yeah, like you said, just remind yourself of the good people around you and like even good friends. And realizing that everyone's kind of just in the same boat as you. Like no one's life is like constantly a highlight reel. No one's life is constantly amazing and like
yeah.
perfect. I think this is I probably watched a video somewhere about this. Like when you talk to anyone in the world,
Right.
like
Like even like
nobody's life,
celebrities and
yeah,
stuff.
like nobody's life is perfect. Nobody's life is like amazing, and like that's how, like everyone probably has some sort of problems or like some demons in their past that kind of shape them who they are now. Like, you know, like that perfect life or that perfect person just doesn't exist, you know? So there's no point in feeling like you're missing out because other people also feel like they're missing out from stuff you're experiencing. So yeah, just don't continue the cycle, I guess.
Yeah.
Obviously easier said than done.
I think like leading on from that, like what really helped me when I was in here in the UK alone was also like watching people's vlogs. This sound like so lame, but then like watching like YouTubers like, oh, like what they do in a day, and then like what like things that they miss and stuff, because then it really like informs me of that. It also like, other than learning about other people's life in a like a very osmosis passive way and thinking about my own life and like what I want it to be like, it's also interesting to see that actually no one's doing everything all the time. And also people who reflect on their like wild 20s where they went out a lot also don't tend to say like, yeah, it wasn't fun, and I was also like not exercising, and I was pretty unhealthy, and it wasn't a great time. But I think that's
Yeah.
also quite comforting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Like just seeing the balance in everything, right?
Yeah.
And like even like balancing like social media and just like realizing that, I mean, we already said this, but just realizing that it's not the whole of everyone's life, you know? Yeah.
Well, I guess another important thing is that you have to be good about social media and like how you engage with it, because I think it's quite important to separate it from your real life, as in
Yeah.
you have to realize that like it's not a reflection of you, because your friends don't see you that way either. Like your
Yeah,
friends
I
don't
think
see you as this polished person that they look up to, and I think that's like the most important thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's like also applying it to yourself and other people. So, yeah, it goes both ways, I think. Um, and the other thing that I feel like I recognize in first year of university that links to FOMO is that I had this giant revelation to me that like no one cares. Actually, no one cares about you, which sounds really sad at the same time, but also very freeing at the same time, because you don't put, because no one has the time to judge you, right? Like everyone's too busy focusing on themselves. Everyone's busy on focusing something that's more interesting, which is themselves. So it's kind of like, I remember back in year one when I probably had worse FOMO than now. I was like, I should be doing more interesting things, otherwise I'm gonna feel like a loser, like I'm a loner kind of thing. But the thing is, just no one cares if you're not going out. No one's gonna label you and say, oh my god, Glory's such a loser because she didn't like go out to this event. Like nobody has the energy to do that when they're too busy focused on their own lives, and if they do that, then they're just an asshole, you know? So just I think just constantly reminding myself that no one really cares about what you do, as long as you're happy with what you're doing, then it's fine. That's enough.
Yeah,
You know?
that sounds a bit cringe also, but you know, it's
Thanks,
true.
yes.
And also it's like there's literally like 10 people who care about you. Like I feel like that's it. Everyone else doesn't really. So it's like it's not even about what the 10 people think. It's as long as the 10 people are happy for you, and they generally are. They don't really care either
Yeah.
what you do specifically. They just like you for you.
Yeah. And I mean, ultimately, no one's living your life. So you shouldn't live your life for other people and saying that, like, you shouldn't live your life because of FOMO, and like, because FOMO's ultimately about like what other people think, right? So you shouldn't live your life about like what other people think, because you're living it. No one is
Yeah.
living your life. So
I feel like it's actually easy to say now compared to if I was in secondary school. Like that would have been harder to digest.
but now you get it.
Now I get it.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add?
No.
Okay. But yeah, I think it's just a good summary of like recognizing that FOMO happens to everyone and it's all a cycle. You induce other people's FOMOs and other people induce your FOMO. So it's a cycle. And obviously we can't fully get rid of it, but there's definitely like tactics to get rid of them, like we
Yeah.
outlined.
Oh, actually, this is a fun fact. Did you know that seeing your friends and family regularly adds $97,265 in value to your life in a year?
How did they
Like
measure?
apparently you can like put numbers on it. So like
How?
it's an extra 63,000 pounds a year to be happy. I don't know how they did it. I don't know
That's
because like they also like like they rank like for example, divorce costs you $34,000 a year. And
okay.
yeah, so that kind of thing. I really don't know how they do it. But I think it's like maybe the happiness satisfaction. I don't know, man.
But like, good to know, I guess.
Yeah, it's good to like put numbers on it. So for example, having a good social like family and friends is actually worth more than like having a good marriage,
Oh,
which is interesting.
but family comes from marriage, so
Yeah, I guess it's like maybe it also means life partner. Like sometimes having good social network of family and friends also, but that's a different topic. Anyway, I
okay,
thought that was
yeah.
a cool fun fact.
Okay. Well, ultimately, I feel like just keep in mind that you have good things around you, good people, good friends. Just be grateful and like reflect upon what you like and being grateful for what you have, and then just balancing social media and remind yourself that ultimately no one cares about your life and you're the one living your life, so just be content with how you're living it. And yeah, I think that was a good ending. All right. So we'll see you guys next week and hope you enjoyed the episode. Bye.
Bye.